Previously on Quest Friends Forever.
You belly flop into this patch of sand, and you begin to sink into it. Your face is down far enough in the sand that, to your surprise, it comes out on the other side, and you see a room below you. There is a raised platform in the middle of the room. The biggest part in the center, like the 6-foot tall one, has a solid cube on it that is made of gold. Inside is a large golden key. You all step forward into this red circle, and you now find yourself in a luxurious room. You hear a slow clap. You've made it through my puzzles. Congratulations.
Are you Balthazar?
His eyes go fucking wide. Balthazar's my rival. What are you doing here?
I'm looking for a diamond.
So it sounds like you need something from me, but it seems like I also could use something from you. You see, this written document is a critical piece of Constance history. It should be in one of the finest museums, but no, it's currently in the hands of Balthazar, the collector. My name is Nicholas Mage, and I need your help. We're gonna steal the Constance Declaration of Independence.
Wait, before we move on, can Val add anything to their inventory from the desk?
So it's just there's like papers and quills. You found a cigar apparently that you were not smoking because you have a glass dome and not a mouth. But
yeah, but it's funny.
Yeah, you can put a half of a cigar in your chassis if you want.
Done.
Okay, great. That's going on the pod. So we are going to pick up in the exact same spot. He has just revealed his request of you, and he is looking directly at you, and he says, I assume you have questions before we get down to business, so we can go through with the plan.
So let me get this straight. You want us to steal the Constance Declaration of Independence?
Yeah, you're a good listener, man.
Did you do that for the trailer?
Yeah.
That was a trailer moment? Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't give less of a shit. In character, I could not give less of a shit. That's just for the trailer.
Yeah. Perfect.
So, how many diamonds are we going to get for this declaration?
He
I
says.
feel
That
like
is a great question.
this is great that you want us to go on this whole little adventure and like get your revenge and stuff, but like also we really need diamonds. We're here for that. Otherwise, we can't help you. We got shit to do.
Well, of course. I wouldn't just take. I also give. So, and he walks over to a locked little chest on one of his many dressers and tables in this room. This nice little fine study, and he just waves his hand, and the chest top opens, and he reaches in with both hands and comes back out holding 3 large diamonds, and he says, "Will 3 suffice?"
Val walks up to him without even like asking or gesturing like if this is okay to do, and just as if someone was just going to hand you something without thinking about it, second nature, you just go up to grab it. Val tries to just grab it.
Just grab it out of his hand?
Yeah, just like, okay, thanks.
Thank you for your assistance. You've been a great help.
He just raises his arms because he's much taller than you. So now he's just standing there with 3 diamonds in his hands and his arms
up in the sky. And now Val is
sky.
hopping up and down with their arms straight up like a little kid trying to get a cookie.
Well, you need to deliver on your promise first, he says. And he looks at the others in the group and says, is this agreeable?
Stephanie looks at Jared because Jared's usually the one that tries to get more stuff. And
you did practice your haggling skills quite a bit on your shopping
I know.
spree a little while
You're
ago.
professionally trained.
I honestly think you're kind of holding out on us a little bit. We're here to deliver a thing of great value to you.
Priceless value.
Priceless even, exactly. One could argue priceless labor for priceless value.
You can't put a price on history.
You can't put a price on the labor that puts that history in your hands.
So what are you saying, friend?
I'm saying you could be a little bit more generous.
Val, are you still jumping up and down?
Yeah.
Okay. He looks at Val and
Do the thing.
Val's getting excited.
He turns around, puts the diamonds back in the box, waves his arm to close the box, and still facing away from all of you, you see him kind of like shake a
The
little
box, the box doesn't quite close all the way because there's a metal arm preventing it from closing all
bit.
the
You're
way.
not okay. Roll a dex. Roll a dex check to see if you can get your hand in that
Dex?
box. Yes. Slide a hand to get your hand
You're
in the box
not.
quick enough. You little
what is my dex?
sneaky fucker.
+2. Oh, that's a crit.
Fuck.
I critted it.
Okay. Yes. Not only is your hand in the box, but your hand is also on one of the diamonds inside the box.
Yeah.
And he thinks he slams his box shut, but instead of hearing wood on wood, he hears wood on metal. Clank. And looks at you, Val.
Don't worry. You can trust me. I'm friendly and approachable.
Looks back at Jared over his shoulder, turns back around, again facing the wall from all of you, and you see him start like twitching. Not like he's like shaking, but he's like saying something to himself very intensely, and his shoulders are kind of going up and down. And he's kind of just like psyching himself up. And he turns back around, and his eyes are wide, and he's smiling very big. So you came here to do some haggling, huh? He says.
You just told us how priceless this thing that you want us to get is. So, I mean, priceless for 3 diamonds, priceless,
And haggling
and
is
possibly the cost of our lives.
and haggling is not necessarily what I would call it. I would call it valuing our time. I think you know a little bit about that, don't you?
He
And then Val steps in and says,
Please comply with my instructions.
he just starts laughing to himself. He says, and turns around and looks at the book. He's near a bookshelf. Looks through the books, like just starts like he's doing something else all of a sudden. He's looking at all the books on a shelf, picks out one very specific one that's bound in leather and yellow, and he takes it and he looks at it for a second, and then just throws it on the ground as hard as he can, and he says, "Well, all right. You want to make a deal, huh? Some deal makers, some talkers, some barterers, some hagglers in the house tonight. Is that what's happening here? Fine.
I mean, you already tried to kill us with your little your blood monster over there.
I wasn't
so...
trying to kill you. I was trying to test your mettle, test your worth."
Okay, testing us, and
Well-
I mean, we were
Ouch.
just tested for a job that we didn't
Nobody
didn't
wanted
like
to point out the
sign
fact
up
that he
for.
was just testing the metal. That's just for me.
Different word. Okay.
You tested our worth, and babe, we're worth it. Pay the fuck up.
He runs his hand through his hair, and he goes, "Oh, people these days. All right, fine. In my possession, I have 5 diamonds that meet the criteria you are looking for. I believe you said it was 5,000 or more in value.
More.
Right. I think we said that off pod.
More.
But
More.
I have
More. More.
Jared, are you okay?
More.
Are you Vincent D'Onofrio for Men in Black when he's asking for sugar water?
Yeah. More. More.
He admits that he has 5 diamonds of this value in his possession, and he says, "If you bring me what I seek, you can have all 5 of these diamonds."
I look at Jared.
I'm going to do a little diamond inspecting if you don't mind.
Okay, what are you doing?
I just want to look at them. Hold them
okay.
in my hand.
So he reopens, he waves his hand, and the first chest reopens with Val's arm still in it, still holding one of the diamonds, clutching this diamond. And then it's just like a locked like little cabinet it's just sitting on top of. So he waves another hand, and the cabinet below it flies open. And then there's more stacks of there's some gold coins, there's some rubies, there's some emeralds, some assorted treasures. And on the bottom shelf, there are 2 more of these large diamonds that glint magnificently in the light when the cabinet opens.
I approach the cabinet. I pick up one of the diamonds in the bottom bunk, and I hold it in my hand. Is there light on the ceiling? There's light.
Oh, yeah. This is a brilliantly lit room.
Perfect. I hold it up to the light and look at it as if I know what I'm doing with the confidence of 1,000 straight white men.
Right.
And I examine, and then I turn to him, and I'm like, pretty choice.
He's standing
No
there
laughter.
with
It was supposed
No.
to be very,
very
very
serious.
earnest.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's standing there with his hand over his mouth, kind of like bouncing up and down, like he's so uncomfortable with the situation. And he's like, is that up to your standards? Huh?
5,000 apiece?
Yeah, that's what I said, man.
Interesting.
All 5. All 5. You can have a whole collection, okay?
I put the diamond back in the box, and then I turn to Stephanie and give like,
Okay, so tell us about this deal. What's Balthazar like? What do we gotta do? Where does he hang out?
what are his nicknames?
What's his favorite food?
Does he like me? Yes or no?
Check a box.
Obviously, yes.
He walks back over to his desk where he was when he first started and leans against the edge of it and then raises his hand. And from the back of the room, from behind where you entered, a chalkboard on wheels comes flying across the room, narrowly missing all of you and coming to a rest near his desk where he is. And he picks up a piece of chalk and he says, "All right, let's plan ourselves a heist." So,
Can we hear montage music?
I won't do it all in his voice, but here's the details he offers you, and then from this, we're going to try to make a plan for the heist. You guys can tell me what you want to do, how you want to approach it, what your general plan is. And the whole time I'm saying this, imagine him writing furiously on this chalkboard. Far less comprehensible than what I'm saying with my mouth, because, again, he's eccentric and weird, so he's, like, drawing, like, little symbols that you don't recognize and words that are spelled weird and little drawings and whatever. So the details are, Balthazar is a half-elf who lives in the upscale city of Castor. In a week, Balthazar is celebrating his 100th birthday, which for a half-elf is about middle age. And so Nicholas Mage says, "Your timing is excellent," when he brings this up. He's having this very highfalutin, high society party at his big mansion in this fine, fancy city. Nicholas Mage figures this would be the best time to pull off such an event because there will be a lot of people, a lot of distractions, a lot of foot traffic and things. It's not just you breaking into his house. At this party, there will be no weapons allowed. They check your weapons at the door. They don't let you take any weapons in.
Wait, hold on. I do have a question about that.
Okay.
So, will I be able to get in with these guns, or is that like
Eric, I think you need to go to the vet because those pythons are sick.
fuck? So for the viewer and for the listener, I mean,
Thank you for explaining. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I did fully flex my gorgeous little biceps.
It's weird that they're glistening.
That's a
Oh, I
Zoom-
know.
That's a
They're
Zoom
like-
filter. He just
so
had a
that's
Zoom filter
well,
on it.
actually, it's this weird thing with my body where whenever I flex, I just get like wet. So I actually don't really know what that's about.
So
was gonna
did
see a
I,
doctor
but I think
about it,
that's
it's actually
unrelated.
pretty
I think everybody else in the
Yeah.
room does too.
Well, that's
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
what I'm starting to learn with this. I'm calling it more of a gift rather than a curse.
Eric in real life actually has a cantrip.
Yeah.
That's what's happening here.
Glisten muscles.
A wet trip.
Okay. So, somewhere in Balthazar's mansion, there is what is called the Artifact Maze. This is a series of rooms and tunnels somewhere on his estate that are constantly shifting and changing. The rooms never stay in the same order. The doors never lead to the same place, etc., etc.
Honey,
Only-
me neither.
Only Balthazar knows which door will lead to which room. This was put in place as a security measure, and it has worked exactly as intended, as no one has ever been able to steal anything from this maze, despite the fact that it's filled with priceless objects and artifacts, and people have definitely tried in the past. Balthazar can get through these doors without any issue, but if anyone else tries to go through a door without him, or without his permission or consent, the door will refuse to open unless specific circumstances are met. These rooms are also what Nicholas calls Escher-esque in his voice.
Ooh.
Going through a door from one room could possibly lead you to walking on the wall or ceiling of another room.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
What are the specific, like you said, it wouldn't work unless met with specific criteria. Is that something that we need to establish now, or is it something we'll confront as we confront it?
Nicholas does not know the specific criteria, so he cannot inform you of
Oh.
these exact details. But
Well, shit.
as four friends playing a game of Dungeons and Dragons, you could possibly expect some puzzles, challenges, riddles, etc.
Wait, I didn't fucking sign up for puzzles. What?
Is there going to be a dragon?
Remains to be
Oh,
seen.
I sure hope not, because I didn't sign up for dragons.
It is a well-known fact, it is common knowledge, that when Balthazar gets a few glasses of that good old wineberry juice in him, he likes to give tours of this artifact maze to brag and show off and impress people about his great collection of things he owns, because, wealth equals status equals possession, etc., etc. when he shows off items, it has been said, people have heard, told stories who have come out, these dignitaries and such, that he has the ability to cast an anti-magic sphere, which you all as spellcasters know is a level 8 spell. So Balthazar is not someone to be fucked with one-on-one. He casts an anti-magic sphere around himself, making it impossible for anyone to cast anything, teleport away with an item, attack him magically, whatever. Another security measure. But, Nicholas tells you, perhaps Balthazar is getting too arrogant for his own good. The success of this maze and the anti-magic skills in thwarting these bandits has led him to become complacent or perhaps even cocky on some level. Many of the rooms in this maze feature, perhaps traps, riddles, puzzles, as we said, but the room with the Declaration of Independence in it has nothing of the sort, because Balthazar believes no one can ever reach it, so therefore he needn't bother. At this point, Nicholas is still drawing furiously on the chalkboard. There's like stick figures and arrows pointing at just big circles and weird math that doesn't equal anything as he's talking, and you're all just kind of saying whatever. He stops and he turns back to you and he says, "Now, I have a forgery of the Declaration. It's not enough to fool Balthazar upon close inspection, but as long as something is in the case, no immediate alarm should be raised, and everyone should be able to get far enough away before anything bad happens."
If we steal one of the other things, like, let's say, like, we just so happen to be in one of the other rooms and there's, like, a thing that, like, maybe the little robot right here just so happens to take.
Hello.
Is that gonna cause any problems or trip up any alarm system? I know that that's a spell, because I'm a spellcaster.
Yes, I recognize that in you.
As she asks this question, Val reaches up and grabs one of the pieces of chalk on the ledge.
You've made it over to the chalkboard?
Yeah. And I've also now put that chalk in my compartment.
When did Val become a klepto?
There's a lot of shiny things in this room.
Chalk is not shiny.
I mean, honestly, I'm glad to see I'm rubbing off on them. This is like
That's true. Val is very easily influenced.
It's a very proud moment for me.
True.
So.
You know what? It has been leading up to this because you notice how Val mimics the others.
Yeah, Val is
a lot.
highly impressionable. That's true. That's true.
So-
Thank you for validating my
Val.
gorgeous behavior.
Dating.
Ugh.
Hey.
Exactly.
Sorry.
You're a bad influence on this.
What was the question?
Ooh.
What was the question?
Oh, is there, like, an alarm that's
What
gonna
happened-
go off if we touch anything else?
Oh, yeah. He kind of looks down when you ask that, and he takes a second, and he says, "Well, yes, most of the rooms are protected by some kind of security measure, some kind of trap, some kind of alarm, and I know this because I made it in once. This was years ago. Presumably the security measures have been changed, but I think I am the one who's come the closest, but I was unable to make it out with the Declaration."
I do want to clarify my gasp for the group. I was being a little sarcastic and a little earnest, so I don't know if that read
About half
so
and half.
Yeah, but that's in character to you. I don't know if you guys knew this, but that gasp was half sarcastic and half earnest.
He says out loud. Yeah.
So, like,
that's the sitch.
what other things are here? Maybe it would be good to know what other kind of items or puzzles or things we might run into.
Well, as I said, it's been years, and the maze
Yeah,
shifts
but
so
his
much that there's...
collection has been ever growing, right?
Sure,
so
sure.
What other things do they have here?
Well, I'm unsure if I was able to make it to every single room because of the nature
Think,
of the shifting.
goddammit,
Well,
think.
I'm getting to it. There's a lead up, man. You got to lead up to your story,
I
okay?
would love an
Use your
itemized
brain, old
list.
man.
I see all of these lists, all of these books here. I know that you got a list here.
Val slams their arms on the desk really hard.
Do the thing.
Well, I know he's got a library somewhere in there filled with tomes and manuals that can make people stronger, smarter, faster, etc. Magical tomes that can increase a person's skills and abilities. And I remember I saw there was some kind of orb in there, and I didn't get a great read on it, but from my sensing powers, I could tell that this orb somehow manipulated time itself.
He's got sensing powers. That's a thing. I didn't know that. I say to Ellie.
Ellie whispers back, "Shh, I think we're trying to listen. Hang on.
Oh, sorry.
Don't make him yell again, please." The only other room I saw had some kind of sword and a stone situation, but I don't mess with swords, so I didn't really touch that one.
next question.
Mhm.
What kind of things can you provide us to, one, protect us from said traps, and two, to help us blend in at said party? Because I don't know if you've seen us, and I do the comical look around at us,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure that we're prepared. I'm not sure that we're gonna fit in real easy at this like highfalutin birthday party.
Hmm.
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 If only I had my bonnet still.
Yes, that would work perfectly. Well, that was the next thing I was going to go into, he says. Getting into the party is going to be a mission in itself. Every person who was invited was given a golden ticket imbued with Balthazar's signature, so no fakes will be accepted. So you must either acquire one of these tickets, or I guess 4 of these tickets, or find another way in.
Who would he give the tickets to? Who?
Dignitaries,
Name
diplomats.
names, old man.
Val slams their
Old.
arms on the desk again.
We
Do the
also
thing.
need outfits.
For that, I got you, he says. And again, he snaps his fingers, flicks his wrist, whatever. And from one of these mini cabinets in this room, the door flies open, and a little like cart on wheels rolls out with a pink sewing machine on it. And he says, "This is a magic sewing machine, my own design. I'm something of a engineer sometimes." And
I need the viewer. Sorry, I need you to stop. I need the listener, rather, to understand the facial expressions that you're making when you do this voice, because I don't think that they're quite translating to this audio medium that we're doing here.
it's a treat just for you guys.
Yeah,
But,
I feel like I'm watching Face Off right now.
Whenever Danny like talks about something and starts like getting really excited in his Nicolas Cage voice, his eyes get real wide. He gets the Nick Cage crazy eye going on.
Yeah.
So
It's called
It's a
character
treat.
work. It's character
you know
work.
what? It is.
He's a professional.
It is.
I'm a performer. So he summons this magic pink sewing machine, and he informs you that whatever you can think of, whatever you can come up with, will come out of this machine. So clothes are not a problem, bro.
What about golden tickets?
Not made of cloth.
You said anything. You said anything.
Ouch.
Clothes, okay? Clothes, outfits. You got me, fine.
Ouch.
Are you happy with your detective skills?
Yes.
Okay. So cool. We got outfits. How are we gonna get there?
Transportation, he says, well, I believe you came here on a series of horses that seemed very near and dear to you. So he offers you, as far as supplies. What's the word I want to use? Not supplies. Whatever. Supplies.
Rations?
Yeah. Supplies and rations. He offers you each a potion of healing and a potion of mana.
Oh, fuck.
Writing that in my inventory.
Hey, Magic Man.
Yes.
How did you get in?
Well, I'm a great and powerful mage.
Laugh out loud.
Yeah, but like, how?
Yeah, like if he's your like arch nemesis or whatever, like how did you even get let in?
Well, thankfully, he didn't know about my disdain for him and his, we can call them contributions, I guess, but they're not. They're the opposite. He's a blight on the world. But I snuck into one of his part.
Can I also point out to the listeners of this podcast that every time Danny does the voice, he also does the twitch?
Yeah, that's
Ah,
Sort of like
yes.
the shoulder checky.
yeah.
kind
It's
of
shaking my
like-
headphones off my head when I do it too much. He says I snuck into one of his parties before he knew who I was, and that's how I got in. But
Snuck in or was invited
How
by?
did you guys become arch nemesises? Does he know about? Does
Me?
he know?
oh, he knows about
Does
me
he
now
know?
because I got caught in his artifact maze. That's how he came to know who I am and my style and steez.
How'd you get caught?
It's a hell of a maze, and I set off one of the traps, one of the alarms, and I was attacked by a beast, and I had to. Sorry, that was Vincent D'Onofrio.
No, that was perfect. It was
And-
perfect.
Was the beast a pet cat?
No, it was not. I had to flee before my life was in question, and ever since then, he saw me on my way out, and ever since then, he has known me and my style, and has been safeguarding against other magicians of the sort and mages coming in to take his stuff.
Okay,
There we
so
go.
let's get down to business.
Yes.
We have to figure out a couple things.
Mhm.
First, how we're gonna get in. Second, how to locate where the maze is and
Right.
get in undetected. Well, I guess that's it. I guess we get to party too. We should probably party a little bit beforehand.
As far as getting in, you can try to find somebody who has a ticket and, take it by whatever means you find appropriate. Just fucking breaking in somehow around the front gates is an option. It is up to the players of this beautiful game of Dungeons & Dragons how they want to sneak into this party.
Well, I think it would be very, very, very fun for the listeners and for myself if
Sorry.
either Jared or Val was the VIP for the group.
Okay.
If, let's say if we're stealing a ticket and we walk through the front door, or if we go in as servers and then, we do the, oh my gosh, we're changing in the bathroom and now we're fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
But I do kind of very much like the idea of Val or Jared taking point and everybody else just kind of being their entourage.
Okay.
This is the portion of the podcast where we as a team are speaking amongst ourselves before
Sure.
we actually do it in game.
Yes, that's the idea.
So if Val, back to my point earlier about Val is literally a war robot
Mhm.
that is of a previous war, and when there's war, there's rich people who know about the war.
Of course I do.
What if instead of
War.
considering Val
Hooah.
a weapon, what if Val is sort of like a high-ranking general from the war, who is now sort of enjoying the spoils of war after the fact? So you can strap a bunch of medals and awards onto the chest of Val, and so Val could be sort of like an old grizzled war hero that General
So we'll
Val's
call
here.
you- The general.
Yeah.
And then Jared can be your...
I know. Here's my pitch. I'm gonna follow Dave's lead and your lead as well, just in terms of this is a great idea. What if the dynamic was essentially this? Because Val can't talk, we tie in the two, do the medals of everything, but we're the entourage that's their sort of liaison team in any sort of given situation because they can't really say much. So Val will say something like, what does that mean? And it'll be like, if you need to ask what that means, then you don't get them and you're not important to us. So we need to go. You need to get out of our way. Thanks. And so there's that level of we're the backup crew looking hella hot. Because
Or I'm retired, and
you're with your friends. But here's the thing. I think it would be more interesting because if we come in as a brigade, they're going to be like, this is a little imposing. And that could
True.
send us in some trouble. But what's going to be confusing and kind of mysterious is if we each have our own thing, but we are still sort of a group, they're going to be like, wow, they're a little elusive. They're a little mysterious. They're a little who the fuck is that? And there's going to be some attention pulling, but at the same time, because all eyes are on us, no one will suspect anything because it's oh yeah, that awesome. We're not being mischievous. We're making sure people are looking at us and
Yeah.
blending in by standing out.
Hiding in plain sight.
Hiding in plain
And
sight.
then we get Balthazar to show us where his thing is because
true.
he's going to want to talk to us, Natch, and then we'll figure out where the thing is. Then he'll go off and make his birthday speech. It'll be great. There'll be fireworks.
Heist.
And
Heist.
we will go back into the zone.
And so Nicholas Mage says, okay, so it sounds like the plan is make the robot a war general and everybody else is his entourage.
Sure thing.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, you're still going to need one golden ticket. So how do you plan on acquiring that?
I don't know.
Who's on the guest list? You know who's on the guest list? I mean, maybe we do a pre-heist heist, a warm-up, if you will.
So he mentions that it's mostly other rich people, other fancy folks, dignitaries, things like that. Some people are traveling from quite far away, so they might be staying at some nearby inns the night before they go to the party on the day itself.
Oh, fuck
So-
it. Let's go to the inn.
Perhaps some kind of event can happen at one of these places to acquire the ticket ahead of time.
That sounds great. Let's go to one of the hotels. Let's room to room
In
mage hand
character.
shit
with the general.
with the general.
Yeah.
Let's steal some shit.
Cool. What is everyone going to be dressed as so we can use this sewing machine and get some fun descriptions?
Okay.
What are we all wearing? to
I'll
the
go
ball?
first. I am going to be wearing a gorgeous purple tuxedo.
Ooh.
I do want to have sort of mariachi-esque buckles that go along the sides of my legs.
Okay.
Kind of noisy, kind of eccentric, but neat. Knee pads for flair and for utility.
On the outside?
Yeah, on the outside.
Okay.
But they'll be the accent color of the rest of my look.
Got it.
I'm wearing a non-traditional blazer, and by that I mean a purple denim jacket, and then underneath it'll be a black button-up. And I'm wearing sunglasses that you cannot see my eyes.
Oh, you do have sunglasses.
I'm going to put them on.
Nicholas Mage snaps his fingers after this description, and the sewing machine very quickly gets to work and spits out this perfectly form-fitted outfit for you, Jared. And you
Perfect.
have your heist outfit picked out.
I put it on and I look fucking perfect.
It's a 10 out of 10. Would magically create again.
Wow.
Stephanie.
Okay. So I'm going to go in a suit, but
Okay.
not just any suit. Like, I want this to be a Gunchumpio boys over flowers, like incredibly gorgeous and eccentric, well accessorized suit. It's picture Gunchumpio and what he would wear, and that's exactly what I'm wearing.
So like somebody's like some big flowers in like the pockets, or like a high collar or something.
Yeah, high collar, totally an ascot. I got an ascot.
Absolutely an ascot.
The
bet
buttons
your
for the
ascot.
suit don't button in the middle, like, for the blazer part. It's like one of those where it's kind of like a wrap almost,
Way off to the
right?
side,
And
yeah.
kind of like
Cowboy Bebop?
spike, kind of like Spike-esque.
Okay, we love that.
Pants, not a skirt. I'm doing the full pant. And yeah, it's it's like the most high fashion.
What color
thing
is
that
it?
you have. Oh, I didn't even think about that. You're wearing purple, right?
I am, yeah.
I'll wear green with purple accent.
Is that because you're from the forest? It's green.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, nice. So Nicholas Mage again snaps his fingers, and this boys over flowers ass outfit comes spiraling out of this machine, perfectly form fitted. It's amazing. It's great. You look wonderful. And even Nicholas Mage is like, damn, I'm good. Ellie looks over at Ellie now, and Ellie kind of steps forward, and she's kind of thinking for a second. She's like, well, I haven't really ever been to like a fancy thing before, but I've read books and I've seen some pictures sometimes. So, and she goes up to Nicholas and whispers in his ear, and he snaps his fingers, and this outfit comes out, and it is a extremely classic, like golden age Hollywood, fucking black and white tuxedo with the fucking tails almost down to the floor, and a tall top hat.
Ooh.
Also comes out of it, and she puts on the top hat, and she's
Cute.
like, "This is what fancy people dress like, right?"
I feel like with Ellie, she's so like mousy and soft spoken that if really pressured, we all know that she reads a lot of like romance novels quietly, like away, like she's like doesn't want to talk about it. She doesn't know about anything, but like she really knows about the prince of the blah 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 blah. She's
Okay,
so,
as
like
her
she
best
knows
friend,
what
I
fancy
can
ball gowns are
100%
like.
guarantee this. 100% guarantee. She loves love. She wants love. 100%.
Yeah. So yeah, it's classic fucking Fred Astaire in the 30s. Just the white, like the vest. Yeah, it's amazing. It's black and white.
I take
perfection.
one of my flowers and I put it in her breast pocket.
She smiles and shrugs. Oh, thanks. That'll work. This is gonna work, I think. And then Val, are you doing anything other than just fucking gluing metals to your body, or do you have any
Oscar
kind of
Zulu Protocol.
Uh-oh.
Phalanx formation. Attack pattern Delta 3. Initiate.
That's my instructions.
I'm not sure how to make that fashion. Maybe you could like draw me a picture or something.
Cling. Val's compartment opens back up. And
Okay.
Val reaches back and grabs a piece of chalk that they took.
Uh-huh.
And then goes to the chalkboard. Is it one of those cool chalkboards from like the 50s that
flips?
has chalkboards on both sides that flips?
Of course it does. Of course it does.
Sweet.
You've seen Gone in 60 Seconds.
When I flip, oh god, Jesus. Val flips the chalkboard over. Is there anything that was left on the other side of the chalkboard that Nicholas Mage forgot to erase, perhaps?
Yeah. There's the first line of a poem, and he sees it real
What
quick.
is it?
It says
Is it for Eleanor?
says, "My love is harder than a rock," and he grabs the eraser real quick and erases it really
Oh
fast.
my goodness.
Oh,
Oh
how
my
did
goodness.
how'd that get there?
Oh my goodness.
Someone must have broken in or something.
Oh dear. No, thank you.
He's embarrassed.
So Val starts drawing, but not in swift lines or gesturing lines like a person would draw with chalk on a chalkboard, but instead this is almost sort of like a pixel-based sort of pointillism kind of drawing, almost as if like there's a printer on the chalkboard.
Okay.
And it's surprisingly extremely detailed rendition of what Val looks like, but as a general.
So what is that? Are you wearing any kind of clothes, or are we just gluing medals to you?
What you're looking at is a picture of a war robot that looks just like Val, except there is not clothing per se, but think of it like extra armor. If Val's metal plating, the shoulders on the chassis, the sort of the chest plate that has buttons and dials and light bulbs and stuff on it, it's that. But so if Iron Man is normal Val, you're looking at War Machine. There's essentially bigger, badder, like more armored, and then on top of that, there's also this would be like the war robot general a dressy thing too. So like actual ribbons and medals and military insignia all across. So there's you can see the rank up. There's like an etching of a what looks like a futuristic rank of some high-ranking officer etched into the bottom of the glass dome. So that way, from far away, you can tell that that's the general.
Got it.
It's not the same blue and orange colors, and certainly there's no subwoofer that's been apparently hot glued into the middle of what Val's chest. So there's all of this. But when the group asks Val, "What are we looking at?" Val says,
Oh my goodness. Uh-oh. There seems to be some trouble with my memory engram matrix. I'll run a diagnostic protocol. Just a sec.
and Val has no idea what they've just drawn.
Nicholas Mage looks at this drawing and considers it for a moment, and then with a whip of his hand, the pink sewing machine gets to work, and eventually the closest approximation to this that he could get from this weird drawing is produced, and Val is also now adorned with a disguise. And now that you're all dressed up and ready to go, Nicholas looks around the room and kind of considers each one of you for a second, and then takes a step forward to address you before you hit the road. And he says, "All right, you have all the information. You have disguises. You have everything you need. I'm counting on you to pull this off for me. I won't be traveling with you, just in case, I get spotted, and in case Balthazar's minions are out looking for me, but I won't be far behind. When you acquire the declaration, go ahead and contact me. You have sending or animal messenger or something?"
Mm-hmm.
"Great. We'll meet up somewhere and make the exchange, and I'll give you what you are so desperately seeking." And he motions back over to the cabinet with the diamonds again. And he says, "We're doing a good thing here. I believe in this mission. I believe in you, I guess, as much as I can, having just met you, but I do, honestly do. Now go forth and reclaim this national treasure." Hello, Questies. Welcome to the mid-episode break here in the middle of episode 29 of Quest Friends Forever. My name is Danny. I am the Dungeon Master. And let's talk about some business real quick here and then get back to other business, which is the business of the story we are telling. Okay. If you are enjoying Quest Friends Forever, why not consider following us on social media? We are mostly on Instagram. We are at Quest Friends Forever, the number 4 as always. Over there, that's where we post pictures of ourselves and new episode updates and audio clips and video clips and sometimes even fan art. That's where we do most of our business. So give us a follow there and we can be internet friends, which of course is the best kind of friends to be. Also, if you are enjoying Quest Friends Forever, why not give us a rating or a review on whatever podcast platform you are listening to us on right now, or even other platforms as well. Those ratings and reviews, as you know, help a lot. They get us seen and heard by more people and lets us know that the art we are making is appreciated and enjoyed, which is about all we can ask for when we do this. And so we would like that very much. And we would say thank you from the bottom of our little fantasy hearts when you would do that for us. So thank you ahead of time, I guess. Lastly, as you know, we are on the Nostalgia Network family of podcasts featuring other podcasts like the Nostalgia Podcast, like the Lousy Advice Podcast, like the Momos and the Appas. Those are podcasts about movies and music and TV, respectively. Those are all a lot of fun. Eric is on most of them. Actually, I think Eric's on all of them. Eric's on every podcast on the network. Jessica's on a lot of those. Yeah, it's just us having a good time, shooting the shit about stuff we love, and we can also be critical of. So check those out if you haven't already. Those are all over all the podcast platforms as well as at www.thenostalgianetwork.com. That's all I got. Let's get back to the episode. There'll be a new one 2 weeks from today. If you are listening on release day, we will see you then. Bye-bye. So we're going to do a time jump.
Iconic.
Okay.
We're going to jump ahead, and we flash forward 6.5 days that you are now in the city of Castor. So this city it's almost like Waystar, where Val is from, except it is because it's like an actual city with like paved roads and like buildings. This is much nicer than Val's home of Waystar. The buildings are taller. The streets are I almost said shinier, but sure, shinier. This is a place for the elite. A lot of hills, a lot of mansions up on hills so they can look down at people, that kind of vibe. And you notice right away where Balthazar's mansion is. Nicholas gave you some tips, but Balthazar's mansion is on up on a hill right in the dead center of town. It's like the center of attention, literally, here in this city, because he is very rich and very full of himself. But his birthday party is not till tomorrow, so it is the night before the big party, the big heist. And you have been tasked with finding a ticket to this grand party. You will only need one for Val, and the rest of you will be able to get in as their entourage. So, what is the plan to get this ticket?
The plan that I had, you had suggested going to the hotel and shaking some trees, as they say. And by shaking, I mean quietly sneaking.
Well, yes, of course. So you head toward the center of town, and you see a very nice inn. This is multiple stories. It is called
this is the Waldorf.
It is called
fuck.
It's actually called the Grandeur.
Oh, fuck.
The grandiose, perhaps even. The name shifts depending on how they're feeling that day.
The Grandois.
The Grandois, yes. So you make it to the Grandois. Thank you,
The
David.
Great Bambino.
And it is this 5-story hotel. It is the nicest hotel any of you have ever seen. You didn't stay in one Waystar, but if you had, they would have been a little bit more rundown than this. It's basically.
I mean, I've seen bigger.
That's true. Jared has been around all over this great nation of Constance of ours.
Was that Jared or Eric?
Mm-hmm.
Jared.
It sure was.
Okay.
Who, at this point, who can even fucking be sure?
Jared.
Who even knows these days?
One and the same.
Yeah,
One
Jarek.
and the goddamn same.
It's Jarek. So, in you go. You enter the Grandois. So there's your basic front desk situation. It's got marble floors. It's a very fancy upscale place. It's very well lit on the inside. All the torches are going. But also off to the right is like the lounge area, and you see in there it's not quite as well lit. It's a little darker, but it's on purpose for a little bit of mood lighting. You see a bar in there. You see several tables set up. You notice some folks sitting in like the corner of this room in like nice like plush chairs, like those like fancy. Plush is not the right word, but those fancy armchairs.
Yeah,
some people.
Voluptuous.
Yeah, some people have cigars. Some people have those sifters of brandy. They're kind of just not even drinking it. They're just swirling it and smelling it. That's all they do. They don't even drink it. And there's a small group of about 4 people on one of the tables playing cards. Is what you see.
So I'm going to immediately saunter, and I say saunter intentionally.
I assume you do.
I'm going to saunter to the concierge desk, and I'm going to say, hello, I'm actually here to check in.
It is an older half-elf woman behind the counter, and she looks up at you with no expression on her face, and she goes, "Name, please."
Are there any other people behind the counter?
No, she's by herself. Again, it's
By
it's
herself.
pretty late, so she's the only one working. It's like the overnight
Okay.
kind of shift.
As I look around, is there anything that I notice apart from what has in front of her? What does she have in front of her and what's around her?
She's got the ledger, of course, in front of her because again, this is fantasy. So she doesn't have a computer, so she has the
Beg your
ledger. This is
No
a
computers.
a fancy black bound ledger with gold trim, filled with nice handwriting. But no, it's still fantasy times, so it's still pretty basic hotel keeping stuff.
Okay. I'm going to open the conversation by saying hello, as I did, and then I'm going to follow it up with, before we check in, I did have a couple packages sent to me to this address, busy with business and life and wealth.
Sure.
So I struggled with being home because I'm working so frequently.
Of course.
I decided to just have them sent here in preparation for the big party. You know the one.
Oh, sure.
Do you mind running to the back and checking to see if a couple of those have arrived?
You get the vibe from this elf woman that she is absolutely putting on the role of serving rich people, but she's annoyed at you for asking this. She's we've all again worked in the service industry, so she sighs and tries not to roll her eyes, and she says, "Under what name?"
The name is gonna be Blaine. First name Blaine, last name Blayn.
Yuck.
She blinks a few times. She goes, Blaine. Is that right?
Yeah, Blaine. Last name again pronounced Blaine.
Right. I thank you. Yes, thank you. Of course, sir. Why
Perfect.
don't I go in the back and check on that? I will be back in just a fast moment.
I would appreciate that so much. Thank you. Again, it's Blaine.
She's walking away. Yes, I heard you.
Okay, she's walking away. Perfect.
She's gone. She goes in the
Mage,
back.
I immediately cast my mage hand, and I send it directly behind the counter to the main book, open it up, and I begin writing Blaine.
Blaine.
Party of 4.
It's my favorite
for
show
5
from the
nights.
90s.
Blaine Party 4.
I feel like there's somebody in that show called Blaine. Is that a thing?
Probably.
Well, there's David.
Hi.
Blaine.
Oh.
Nice.
Wait, should I look for something? I kind of want to look for something.
I don't know. What are you doing?
Is there anything I can take? Is there a no? Is there a fucking cash register?
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh fuck yeah!
Are you gonna rob this place too?
Straight the fuck up, I am.
Jesus.
Rich people suck. I'm just stealing. I'm great. I'm Robin Hood. Okay. Mage hand once again.
Okay.
Blah, 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 blah. I open the cash register and start pulling out coins. How many am I able to pull out within the allotted time?
So Jared, you have to go quickly because you don't know when this concierge is coming back.
Perfect.
So roll a d20 twice.
Okay. 16 and 13.
Okay, so 29 gold coins. As you get them
Fat
out of the
stacks.
register and then back into your pack safely, the concierge reemerges, looking more annoyed than before, and says, "No such luck again, Mr. Blaine."
You know what? Silly me. I'm so sorry to put you through this. I actually never sent them.
She closes her eyes longer than a blink and goes, "Well, I'm happy to have helped," and then looks quite annoyed.
Again, I'm so sorry for your trouble. You know what? I pull out another gold coin. I'm like, here.
One of the ones
just
you stole?
Yes. I'm like, here, you know what? Have a couple. Here's 2. Again, I'm so sorry. But we are going to be checking in under Blaine. I believe we have 5 nights, 4 guests.
Yeah, she checks down and you've got it. So as she looks at the 2 gold coins, she's like, "These look kind of familiar," but then doesn't say anything. So she gives you a golden key and tells you your room is on the 2nd floor.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your help. And again, I'm so sorry for the inconvenience.
She says. Stephanie, what are you doing?
First, is there a bar here? Like, is this like a?
Ooh.
Is
yes,
it
I described the bar, the lounge. It's got
Yeah,
the guys
yeah.
in the chairs and the brandy and people playing cards.
Perfect?
So Stephanie, I assume you and Ellie are going, while Jared and Val do the front desk.
Yes.
Okay, so Stephanie and Ellie head toward the bar. There's a bartender working. It's not too busy right now. It's kind of late at night, but some of these distinguished looking folks are up doing their rich people things, chatting about how they have more money than everybody else. You know how rich people are. So there's the table of guys playing cards, and there's a group of about 4 people in the corner in the brandy cigar corner. So you got about 8 people in this room plus a bartender.
Okay.
A few people look up when you enter, but nobody says anything to you or have any difference.
Is anybody talking about anything interesting, or do they have? Do I get a hint of a golden ticket anywhere?
So these folks are quite fancy. The ones in the corner are too far away for you to hear, even with your amazing perception. But your passive is really high. I don't even want to make you roll for it. From the card table, you can't make out like exact conversations, but you absolutely hear the word Balthazar.
Cool. I'm going to tell Ellie to grab a drink.
Okay.
And I'm going to go, you said at the card table or near the card table?
The people at the card table, the 4 people playing cards, you heard the word. One of them said it.
Okay. I'm going to, is there like a seat near the card table?
Yeah, it's a table for 6, like a rectangle table, so there's 2 open seats.
Sure. But if I'm, let's say, going to listen to what they're saying
I
first
see.
and then...
Yeah, there's other tables around. There's nobody else down here, again, because it's pretty late, so you would be by yourself, and it would be pretty obvious that you were just nearby. Like, you wouldn't be hidden. But...
Okay, so what I'll do first is I'll get the drink with Ellie, and then we'll go sit at a table, listen to what they say, and the bets, because Jesus, I can't, I don't know how much money we have. I forgot.
Mm-hmm. Spent a lot of it.
So we get drinks.
We should have had Nicolas Cage make some fake money for us.
His name is Nicolas Mage, but okay.
What did I say?
I can give you some cash.
You're not even in there. So these are 4 human dudes, the worst kind. They are all, dressed pretty nice. You can tell these are highfalutin folks. You hear from they start a new hand. They go, all right, put in. You all know it's 30 gold minimum per hand.
Jesus. See, I'm so glad I did not fucking sit down. Oh my God.
They're all putting in blah, blah, blah. And you listen to maybe them play a hand or two and them kind of just bullshitting. And then on the third hand, one of them elbows the other one next to him. It's like, so what'd you bring for old Balthazar? And the guy's like, well, I'm not telling you. It's a surprise. Just like you, man. You're such a jokester or whatever. Back in, poker bullshit. I don't know. I don't play poker with dudes or anyone, so I don't really know what poker bullshit is. But they are for sure, they have revealed that at least 2 of them are going to Balthazar's party tomorrow.
Excellent. Do I catch any of their names or?
Yeah. So there's, there is Garant. There's Garant, which I'm going to write down right now. So Garant was
Games of Thronesy.
Garant. He's the gruff one. There's Hugo. He was the fancy lad who said, I'll never tell.
These are great fantasy names, Danny.
Yeah. There's also just F. They just call him F.
What is that short for?
A word that starts with F. And then there's also pointy.
Say that again.
Pointy. The word pointy, but with an L in it. So Garnt, Hugo, F, and Pointy. We got him. There's our human lads. Fucking terrible game. Yeah. So you know that for sure Garnt and Hugo are going to the party.
Do I happen to find out what floors or rooms they're on? Does that come up in their bullshit?
So you listen to a couple more hands, trying to gain all this information you can. Ellie's also listening, but not as perceptive. So she's doing her best. I assume you're having some kind of fake conversation. So you're not just sitting there in silence, like leaning toward them, like.
Yes.
I mean,
yes,
that would be fucking fantastic.
And they're literally the only other people in the bar, and they're 5 feet away from them.
Yeah.
It's really
Both-
It
weird.
depends on
Both
how drunk
wide-eyed.
they are.
Yeah.
So after a few minutes, one of them gets up. Hugo, the fancy lad, gets up and goes, "Well, that's all for me tonight, lads," and walks to the bar and says, "Charge it to room 311."
You need to go to. You need to stop it. You need to.
This is your fault, Jessica.
And-
You made him do the hotel room.
Hugo, the fancy lad, walks off, presumably to go back to his room.
Does he
Oh,
walk
God.
down to his room?
Fucking damn it.
With- Are the wall sconces fire, or is it more of like an energy?
I would say it's more of an amber.
Yeah.
Something happens and we move on from this not funny joke.
So you're all in the room now. All four of you are in the hotel on the second floor of the Grand Dua, and you need to acquire this golden ticket from the fancy lad Stephanie met in the bar. What do we do, gang?
I'm going to go open the hotel room door, step out into the hallway,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to look around. Is this hotel, just base question, is it one of those where like each floor you can see and it's like almost like a balcony into the foyer or the open situation, or is it like a Holiday Inn with like closed off hallway rooms?
The first one sounds fancier.
Yes,
And
that's
this
what I'm
is
thinking.
Absolutely a fancy hotel. So yes, that
perfect.
one, the first one, is open in the middle.
Okay, so
Rich people
I'm
don't need privacy. It's fine.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like a middle atrium kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go lean over the railing and kind of casually look down,
Mhm.
and then I'm gonna do one of those like roll over, lean elbows on the rail, and like kind of throw my head back and look up to see if I can see any like guards or any sort of personal security outside of the room above us.
Why don't you roll a perception check?
Okay. I rolled a 16 plus a 6.
22.
22.
It's very high. Okay, so as you kind of do the casual stretch and look up, you don't really see much because they're staggered in such a way that you can't really see what's going on above you. But you can hear, Hugo going into his room. He's retiring for the night. He had stepped out for a smoke, I guess. It's a
Fantasy
indoor smoking in this hotel. They haven't really learned yet. You hear him going back into his room, and you hear him address somebody outside of the room. He says, "Well, have a good one, Jeffrey, and keep watch over the door." And you hear him go in. So you know there is someone posted outside this door named Jeffrey.
Okay.
Does our hotel room have a balcony?
Sure. Yeah, fancy ones usually do. Anything a fancy hotel has, this is going to have it.
Perfect. Okay.
Val opens the
So-
mini bar.
Oh,
So
breaking the seal.
there's a bidet.
There is a fabulous bidet,
Oh,
actually.
fuck
The best
yeah.
any of you have ever experienced.
Okay, actually, I have to go to the restroom, so I'm gonna go right into the bathroom. You don't hear really anything because I'm very polite, but then you hear the gorgeousness of this post bowel movement bidet.
Mm-hmm.
There's actual music coming from it,
Yeah,
which
it's-
I was really
Oh my
surprised
goodness.
by.
It's accompanied
Like
by
one
a
of those
symphony.
fancy ones in Japan?
Mhm.
Yes,
Yes.
but it's not
Oh
just
my
like that.
goodness.
Do. It's like one of those like binaural ambient like room
Are
fillers.
you telling me that
where
this
it's-
toilet has Atmos?
Pretty much. It really does. On the sides of the toilet, there's little speakers. And the way that it vibrates the water in the tank, it creates its own tone. So it becomes like a third triad of like dissonance. Anyways.
Just like
wow.
fancy
Does the
hotels
toilet-
have.
Music?
Does the
Stop.
toilet try to harmonize with you peeing?
It,
It doesn't
really
try
does.
to. It succeeds.
It succeeds.
That's true. That's true.
Hang on,
so you
hang on,
hear
hang on,
that.
hang on. Yeah, the toilet crit. So
Oh, fuck yeah. so you
critical
so you-
toilet.
So you hear this, and then I wash my hands and I come out and I say,
Oh dear. No, thank you.
Delightful. Well, we figured it out. That's nothing else
That's
to
the
do
end
here.
of the game, actually.
And
that was
you,
it,
Bye.
really.
You found the
Thank you
best
and good
bidet
night.
in Castor and in all of Constance.
Fantastic.
So
Love a good poop segment for the podcast.
we haven't had one in a
Um,
while. So
Well, it really wasn't. It was really more of a bidet segment because
Right.
nothing was highlighted except
Sure,
bidet.
sure.
Okay.
For bedegment.
You were saying balcony.
Yes, there's a balcony.
yes, there is.
Okay.
How high up is it? Like, theoretically, if I wanted to use like my thorn whip or something that has like a reach that is like 10 feet long or something.
How tall are rooms? I'm looking at my room
12,
right now.
the taller, the fancier.
15
feet.
15.
Okay.
15 feet?
Let me see how
Okay.
long thorn whip is.
It's got a range of 30 feet, dog.
Ooh.
Oh shit, there it is. Hell yeah. Fuck yeah, fuck yeah, fuck yeah, fuck yeah. So it's better than a normal whip.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
It's a magical thorn whip.
I have an idea. What if I go and distract Hugo? Somebody climbs over the railing up into the room and shuffles around while I make silly gesture-like performances
while you
for.
be Jared.
Yeah, I'm gonna just go be myself.
You're gonna Jared
honestly,
out.
honestly, I got this. Yeah, I'm gonna
Um,
distract somebody, go into the room and steal.
But there's a problem because the person's in there, right?
But I'm gonna pull them out. I'm gonna give them a reason to come outside.
Got it. So this
Do
is
we-
going to be Stephanie because Val cannot climb a rope.
Yes, so this would be
Says you.
This would be a plan for Stephanie and Jared. Do we know if the patio door is open?
You can't tell from down here. When Stephanie goes out to check, she doesn't hear Hugo on the patio. So Hugo is in the room, which you just heard him go in.
Okay. Assuming that he doesn't come out onto the patio in the next several minutes, I am going to give Stephanie my magic lockpick.
Oh, okay.
Just so we have no problems moving forward and getting in there. So I'm going to take that out of my pouch right now, and I'm going to hand it over to Stephanie. Stephanie, take this. I'm going to, once the door is open, I'm going to talk robustly, sneak onto the patio above. Hopefully you'll hear me, or at least can see when they're out of the room. Break in, do some sleuthing. I'll keep them out as long as possible. What should be our code word? Acorn is the word. What do you
Three
think?
Okay.
times or just the one?
Just the once.
Are you sure not the three? I mean, what if like somebody says like acorn butter, and then I'm like,
Which
"Ah,
comes
shit."
up in casual conversation very
I
commonly.
mean, it's a delicacy.
Also-
So
I'm thinking.
Also,
Hello. Hello.
oh, how is Val going to use the safe word if Val can only say
Hello.
and other such things? Val cannot say acorn, so if Val spots
Well,
trouble,
here's
what are you
the
going to want
thing.
Val to do?
Val, why don't you come with me? And so that way, if
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
floundering some way, you can be the sort of slapstick physical comedian and like accidentally trip into them or like push them and be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry about my friend here. They're just really, you know what I mean? We can have a cool little dynamic to keep the party going. And by party, I mean distraction. We're going
Am
to
I
head
still
on
in
up.
costume? Am I still all generaled out?
You're goddamn right.
we
You're
did-
all in costume.
We're all still dressed up, which is perfect for us to
Okay.
get up to this room. So how does everybody feel about what we're doing?
I'm already looking up at the balcony. Uh-huh.
Perfect.
Do the thing.
Val, come with me. I exit the room, walk down the hallway to, assumedly, a medieval elevator.
It's stairs.
Spiral
Okay.
staircase,
Yeah.
which
it's a
Val
spiral
has
staircase.
a really hard time getting up.
You have trouble turning left?
Yeah. I'm also a general that has extra armor that I'm not used to.
That's true. So we clunkily carry ourselves up one spiral staircase to the third floor, and we start heading down the walkway. And one more time, DM. Larry,
Uh-huh.
what are
cable
their
guy.
names?
So,
Jeffrey and...
Jeffrey is the guard,
Yes.
and Hugo is the fancy lad.
Hugo. Okay, Hugo Weaving and
Jeffrey Star.
Jeffree Star.
Sure.
Ew.
Okay.
Ugh.
Jeffrey.
No, it'll make me remember because of the ew. Jeffree
Okay,
Star,
there you go.
Hugo Weaving.
Sure.
Okay. As we approach the door, does Jeffrey notice us?
So Jeffrey is standing not in front of the door, but like next to the door. He's got his arms down in front of him. He's a human. He's a little short, but he's definitely he's sturdy. He's muscly.
Stocky.
He's
Okay.
a stocky lad.
You can just say hot. It's fine.
Yeah, and he has a really thick mustache.
How manicured is his beard?
Oh,
It's not a beard; it's just a mustache.
Okay.
okay.
And
Sorry.
It's pretty excellent actually.
Break
Yeah.
my neck,
And
please.
he doesn't move at all, except you see him kind of turn his head slightly. His body doesn't move, but his head turns.
Is
and
he wearing
looks at you
sunglasses?
as you're coming? No, sunglasses are not a thing in this world, except the ones that have been invented by our friend Foster.
Interesting.
It's not widely available.
As we approach, maybe like 20 feet, 30 feet out, I'm like, Jeffrey? Is that Jeffrey?
He turns his head to look at you, and his face doesn't change. He maybe like raises an eyebrow, like The Rock.
Jeffrey, it's me. Do you not recognize me?
Who are you?
Oscar Montoya. We met several years ago.
Oscar. Doesn't ring a bell. And he
You
turns back.
cannot tell me you do not remember ancient Florida? You cannot tell me you do not
Ancient
remember
Florida?
our parties
Right.
in ancient Florida.
I'm sorry. Hold on. Of
Is it
all
is
the
it like
places.
I'm honestly
Ancient
so sorry.
Florida.
I did not have a name, and that literally kind of fell out of me. It
That's the
did
first one?
surprise me on the way out.
It's like
It's
a,
very-
is this like
it's
a
very
Key West
Jared.
party.
Yes, just like it surprised you, I was also like, "What? No,
We're all
Okay,
living
Well,
it in
yep,
the moment.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
we're living in the
Yeah.
moment." Okay, I'm gonna
Yeah.
go with it. Back into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ancient Florida. Do you not remember?
Oh, I haven't been to ancient Florida in 7 years.
Since my college days.
It has been some time. Has it been 7 years already? That's wow. Time really just flies, doesn't it?
I went there on spring break about many years back, but I don't really remember meeting anybody named Oscar. I'm sorry.
Well, it was a pretty wild time. I would assume you wouldn't remember a goddamn thing.
I hear that, brother.
Yeah. Anyways, I was hoping to chat with Hugo. Hugo's in here, right?
He raises his second eyebrow, so now both his eyebrows are raised. Unlike
He's very
Barack.
shocked.
Yeah. And he says,
How did you know Hugo was in here?
Well, he sent me the not the telegram. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. He sent me the parchment by Partridge.
So
You were just
use
on
Parch
a fucking
Parch. Okay.
roll.
The Parch, yeah.
You-
Right.
it's great delivery service.
It's the only way to communicate these days.
Right. It's the fastest way to fly, they say.
Yeah.
What business do you have? I was told to
Oh.
not let anyone in.
Oh, just catching up. I know that we have our big party tomorrow, and we're early. We're staying down the hall. I figure, might as well come see an old friend. And happen to run into an even older friend. My God.
Well, I'm not that old.
And he kind of gives you the little, the point.
Keep telling yourself that.
Oh, all right, all right.
But he snaps back. He's back in business mode now, and he goes, I need to check first. So if you'll excuse me for a moment, I need to go inside and ask. So
As you do that, I'm like, let me just call him. Hugo, it's Oscar.
he's holding up a finger, like a 1 second finger, like, hang on, I'm going in.
Oh, okay. You
So
do your thing.
He opens the door, so your shouts were heard inside, but he goes in and he shuts
You
the
go
door.
ahead and do your job. Wink, wink.
He shuts the door and he's inside. Downstairs on the second floor, Stephanie, are you prepared?
In order to prepare, I'm doing 3 things. 1, I'm casting Thorn Whip, which is a cantrip, and that's immediate. 2, I'm casting Guidance, which will give me a D4 to any ability check that is also a cantrip. And I cast Cat's Grace on myself, so I get advantage on dexterity checks.
Wow, you're getting beefy.
I'm
Beef
very
up.
nervous. This is the first time I've done like real breaking and entering, and it's like a fancy place. And I'm also very worried that there's like some sort of security or getting caught. Like there are so many impersonation thing, and there's a lot happening. There's a lot happening.
As you're just casting spell after spell to get yourself ready, Ellie is there, and she's kind of like, like when somebody's about to do something dangerous and your friends are there with like their hands out, like just in case, like to catch you or grab you. She's like, okay, all right, whenever you're ready, I got you. It's okay. We got this.
Thanks,
Okay.
Ellie. Okay.
All right.
Here I go.
Go for it.
And I hook the Thorn Whip up onto the balcony, and I climb up.
So yeah, you have no problem hooking it on. You're good with Thorn Whip. It's a cantrip. You know it like the back of your hand. No problem. But to climb up this 15 feet in a free climb, you are going to need to do an athletics roll
Okay.
to make sure you don't fucking fall.
Fucking beef it.
Yeah. So give me athletics.
I got a
Let's see how Stephanie does in this gym class
12
rope climb.
plus 2.
Okay, that is good. That's fine. Ellie's there, kind of. She's got her hand under your feet to make sure like you're good and balanced. We're sturdy. We got it. It's a little wrong, but I think it's right. It's worth it. It's worth it. It's fine. It's fine.
We got
She
it.
says, debating
think.
with herself about ethics.
Okay.
And yeah, so you are able with that climb. You arrive at the ledge of the balcony upstairs, and I assume you look.
Yeah, I mean,
With
like,
your
I'm
eyes?
before I get fully on the balcony, I'm kind of like peeking over, like
Sure.
very comically and cartoony, to see if somebody's in the room.
So yes, what you see. So there's a glass slider that's been invented in Fantasy World, and you kind of peek into this room stealthily, and you see. Fuck! Now I forgot his name, Eric. Jeffrey. You see these two guys at the door of their room, so their backs are to you, and you see Hugo looking through the God, peephole. I almost said looky hole. That's not what it's called.
Hey,
That's pretty
In
cute.
fantasy world.
The
Yeah.
looky
In
hole?
ancient Florida, maybe.
Yeah, back in ancient Florida days. Yeah, you see Hugo looking through the peephole, and then back at Jeffrey, and you see him look kind of confused, like, and he shrugs, like, "Are you gonna wait?"
Yeah, I'm definitely waiting.
Okay,
Absolutely.
Okay, just making sure. And after a second, you see Jeffrey kind of like insisting, like, no, he says he knows you. And Hugo opens the door, and they both step outside. They leave the door open, but they both step outside into barely in front of the doorway into the hall.
Do I see Jared?
Yeah, you see Jared standing there in all his mariachi tuxedo glory.
Does
and
he
Jared,
see me?
Jared, how do you react when the door opens with Jeffrey and Hugo?
And then you see Stephanie's head up above,
Yeah.
just like very comically, like, oh,
Just
shit.
like nose up.
I see that past Hugo, and then wide-eyed immediately go to Hugo, and I'm like, Hugo, old buddy, what are the chances?
Hugo, as a fancy lad, socialite, man about town, is not one to say no to a social interaction. So he's going to try to play it up, but he definitely looks confused. You can tell, Val, you're standing there too. You can both tell that he has kind of a puzzled look on his face, but he doesn't want to be rude. So he's like, "Oh yes, yes. Jeffrey tells me it was Oliver. What was it? I'm sorry.
Oscar.
Oscar.
actually.
Yes. That's what I meant to say. I'm so sorry. Yes."
Don't tell me you don't remember me either. God, what is it here? The water? My God.
Yes, okay. Tell me, where do I know you from, my friend?
Well, last time we saw each other was at the Festus Breakfast, which was the after party for the volcanic convergence. Do you not remember?
Oh yeah. And he seemed kind of side-eyed Jeffrey. Oh, the volcanic convergence. Yes, we were.
Yeah.
Were we there, Jeffrey? And Jeffrey kind of rubs his mustache and like, and they're both looking like they're trying to remember, but they're not sure they can because they probably weren't there because you're making it up.
Do you not? I mean, Jeff. I don't remember Jeffrey being there, but I certainly remember a wild early morning with you.
Yes, and you see his eyes kind of turn to Val, just standing there wearing all these medals, and Hugo says, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so rude. I'm sorry, Hugo." And he extends his hand to shake your hand, Val. Oscar, I clearly know, but this robot, is this your friend of yours?
Yeah. So my apologies for not introducing you. This is General Voltron.
Hello.
You are fucking on it today. I don't know what the fuck you did to get ready for this podcast, whether you did like some meditative breathing exercises, some fucking yoga. If you like I don't know how you got in this zone, Eric, but I'm
Improv, baby.
Oh my God.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah, this is my companion for this festival trip, General Voltron. Say hello.
Hello.
Well, I'm charmed, I'm sure. I'm Hugo.
Val's whole body turns 2 degrees towards Jeffrey.
Hello.
Jeffrey's standing there with his buff arms crossed, trying to keep an eye on this shit to make sure it's not going to go weird, because he's realizing he maybe hasn't met Gial before, but he's sticking with the moment. He's kind of following Hugo's lead at this point. So for this little ruse to work, Jared, since you're doing most of the talking, why don't you make a deception roll?
Okay. So I got 19.
19's great. It absolutely works.
Okay, cool. I figured, but I was still just like, wait, what if he just like for some reason is like, this guy's real tough? It's out of 35. I'm like, what?
He's a professional bodyguard, so you have to get 40 or
Yeah.
more in order to be.
Yeah. You are convincing as hell in this moment. The looks on their faces are still a little confused, but they are not suspicious of this. They engage you in conversation. Oh, the volcanic convergence. I think I was there for that. Okay, yeah. Really trying hard not to be rude, because again, they are very social. So they step another 2 or 3 feet out of the room. They leave the door open, but they step a little bit more out of the room. And Hugo, he shook Val's hand, so he's going to now shake your hand, and they're out of the room a little bit. So Stephanie, what are you doing?
I'm getting in there.
Okay.
I climb onto the balcony, just
Like
ever so quietly.
Okay.
And then I hold out the magic lockpick that is going to do this all for me 100% the whole time. I don't even have to roll. And then I go into the room This is correct, right? This is all correct.
Almost.
Right?
The first one was good. You were climbing like a kitty
okay.
cat. You attempt to open this slider, and the slider is locked. So you will need to pull out the +1 lockpick. Again, not a magic lockpick. An improved lockpick.
Well, here, let me look at my notes.
An
It does
advanced
say
lockpick.
magic lockpick +1.
Yes, +1, which means the lockpick gives you +1 to all lockpicking checks.
But I do see the
Now-
word magic.
Well, it is. That's why it's
So-
better. Yeah. It's not
But why isn't it a better lockpick? But magic implies
because
Yeah,
you were like level
It
4
would
when
be
you
called
got it.
what about a premium lockpick?
Sure.
See?
Yeah. Okay.
That's more realistic.
Because anything
versus
Luxury lockpick.
luxury even.
Okay, calm down. So you will need a roll to open the slider.
I got a 15 +1 for the lockpick +4, or I'm sorry, +3 for my sleight of hand.
Okay, so
She
what's
got
the
a
total
42.
of that? You threw a lot of numbers out there, and I stopped listening for a minute in the middle.
Oh, well, thanks, Ian. I got a
You
19.
said
I got a
15
19
+1.
total.
Okay, you said 15 +1, and I was like, okay, 16. Is that okay? So 19.
19 total.
So we have just learned that 19 will do quite nicely. Yes, with the assist from this upper echelon lockpick, you feel it slide into the gears and the bits and the bytes, and it pops open, and this door has become unlocked.
Magically.
Okay. I open it. I start to open it.
Uh-huh.
I assume that because this is a fancier hotel, it's not going to be squeaky or
Yeah, no.
right. So okay,
No,
so it's like
the bearings are
pristinely
nice and
oiled,
lubricated.
They grease those
Excellent.
wheels.
Yeah.
So, they love lube. Great.
It's a well
let's
lubed
open
hotel.
this.
It's a very lubed up hotel.
Yeah.
So I slide it open,
Silently.
silently, and I am sneaking around like just again very cartoonishly. This is the first time I've done any of this.
Mm-hmm.
And I look around the room, and do I see anything gold?
So this room looks a lot like yours. Big, beautiful king-size bed, dressers and shelves, and then there's even some books. There's like a small library. There's of course a mini bar, which you know because Val cracked it open in your room. Some tables, some desks. Nothing is out in the open that catches your eye with your passive perception, which is really high. So I would tell you if it was on a dresser or something.
Also, I'm going to close the slider and leave about 6 inches.
Okay.
So it looks like, oh, was that like, rather than like, holy shit, somebody broke it. It's like,
Sure.
did
Clearly
I leave
someone's
that
in the
open?
room, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's kind of my idea.
Okay. So where are you going to check first? There is a desk closest to you,
Okay.
kind of near the slider. There is a dresser straight out from the bed. And then over by the door, near the door, is Hugo's suitcase.
I will go for the briefcase,
Okay.
the luggage. I'm going to go there.
All right. So Jared did a good job of distracting.
As I'm like, because I'm like right behind their back now, like going to do this. I am looking at Jared and say, like, with all of the facial expressions I can muster, as silently as I can.
Yeah. The flippy
She's
hand,
mouthing,
like
keep
keep going.
She's
Yeah, so-
mouthing.
so
She's
keep
like,
it
"Don't make sure
going,
he
keep
doesn't
it
turn
going.
around."
I
Yeah.
have to go
I do-
over here and check, and I'm trying to like charades this as I'm walking behind them. So I'm mimic. I'm like, and then a suitcase, and then if it's not there, go over and open the drawer, and then I'm. This is also the most animated that you've ever seen
Sure.
Stephanie be, so it's a little bit jarring.
And at the front door, as you're doing this, to gesture to you that I see, because I'm not looking at you, I'm just getting peripheral, just to not like break eye contact. I'm doing like a head nod, but I'm kind of going a little long. So then I put my hand on my neck, and I'm like, oh yeah, I honestly, the ride here was a lot. I just. My whole body, I mean age, am I right?
Oh.
It'll get you.
Heard that, brother. Val, you also see Stephanie with this whole big charade. Do you react? Here's your chance to
No.
blow it, Val. Oh,
No,
okay.
not at all. No. Well, yes and no, because I see the whole thing and I'm seeing everything that's happening right now. But I'm in character. I'm General Voltron,
true.
apparently.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to do in this scenario. So Val is just literally like, you don't even really know, like, aside from the luminescence coming from the glass dome on top, like, aside from that, you wouldn't even be able to tell if Val was on. It's just a metal box with legs just standing there. If Val was a human, the most uncomfortable expression you could ever see, but you can't because there's no face. It's just a glass dome on a robot. So I could be a refrigerator at this point. You have no idea. I'm just standing there.
I love the fact that this is the only thing that has made Val not
Speak?
Yeah, like this. Out of
a very
everything.
stern
Pocket
General
sand
Voltron.
Val.
Yeah.
Compartment sand, please.
Sorry,
right,
thank you.
compartment sand. Thank
Stephanie,
you.
investigate the suitcase.
I'm sorry, what? I couldn't hear you
Investigate that
because we were
suitcase.
laughing. Oh, okay.
Investigate that fucking suitcase.
Okay, great. You know what, Danny?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and investigate this.
It's a good idea.
For a 22.
That's a much better roll. So,
And do I find any goodies in there beside? Like, I'm interested in
Like
the
edibles?
ticket,
general
but also
looting happening here.
Just anything that looks. I mean, like he's kind of a tool.
The doors I've opened.
He also
The
doesn't
doors
need
I've
anything because he
opened.
has so much money.
Sure.
She's turned to a life of crime.
So 22 is a good roll. So you open this briefcase. There are a lot of fancy clothes, some fancy lad clothing, a lot of ascots, and what is that thing Austin Powers has? A cravette, whatever that is. The frilly white thing on his
The
suit.
frilly white British undershirt thing.
That
Not
means
an ascot.
any sort
No.
of like neck thing is a cravat. Like
Cravat,
that, like
yeah.
it's like
Cravat.
it could be a tie or a bow tie or
Yeah.
like any sort of neck accessory.
Yeah.
But you're
An
thinking
accessory.
of ascot. You're thinking of ascot.
Yeah, he's got a lot of neck accoutrement in there.
Neck croutons.
Not to be confused with Neck Questionnaire, who you met in downtown.
No.
So yeah, he's not there. So a lot of accoutrement, things like that. As you move some of these frilly white things out of the way, you find a wrapped wrapped present. It is very small, about the size of like a ring box,
I absolutely pocket it.
and it's wrapped in novelty wrapping paper
What kind
that
of?
says it's better to be over the hill than under it, and a little gravestone on it. It's it's a good joke. And as you pick this up out of the the suitcase, underneath you see the shimmering of a
fuck yeah.
golden ticket invitation to Balthazar's 100th.
Does it do the
his
thing,
centennial birthday bash?
Is it like a Pulp Fiction where she opens up the suitcase and then just glowing light is just beaming onto her face?
It's more like a Harry Potter situation where like the text on the ticket is like moving, and it says like "You're invited, you're invited, you're invited" kind of thing. It's like a GIF of a ticket. Yeah, you have found it.
So I grab it. I stuff them in like my little pouch, and I close the suitcase, put it back exactly how it was supposed to be, and then I turn into a rat and I scurry the fuck out.
Oh, of the front door?
Yes, yes, of the front door.
Ooh.
Okay.
Or actually,
No.
No, go for it.
No. You already said.
Yeah, I was okay.
Jared, you've placed your hand on Hugo's shoulder, right?
Yeah.
He puts the hand back on yours and is like, "Well, I'm sorry you've had to call it such an early evening, but it was great catching up with you. So, anyways, I guess we'll be getting on. If you're sure about that drink, no drink then.
I'm most certainly positive.
Well-
it's getting late, and again,
All right.
long day tomorrow.
Sure. I understand.
Yeah.
Well, then I guess we'll call it a good evening." And just then, a fucking rat scurries out of this room.
Can I say? So as I was standing there stoically, not really moving or saying anything, I was observing everything, and so I could see. I could not see the rat coming, but I could see Stephanie turn into the rat,
Sure.
and so I knew what was coming. So as soon as I get a glimpse of the rat with my radar, I don't know what I'm looking with.
You can see.
you're dumb.
I cut off Hugo and I say,
Uh-oh. There seems to be some trouble with my memory engram matrix. And run a diagnostic protocol. Just a sec.
and I start shaking and vibrating violently.
Oh dear.
I reach down and I put my hand on Val, and I'm like, "We better get them back to the room."
Okay, Val. Then, why don't you roll performance, because this is a whole thing you're doing here with your body.
Oh boy,
You're a bard. You should have good performance, right?
Jesus, yeah, I do. I got a 17 plus 8.
Oh yeah, they buy this. Oh dear, he's got the shakes.
And then this is when we see the rat.
Yeah, the rat scurries out right at this
Okay.
moment.
Right past us. I jump and I'm like, oh my God. Oh, a rat? In your room?
I was trying to just keep them from seeing the rat.
Well, no, this is great because here's the plan. Here's the plan, pal. So I'm scurrying out. So rather than them coming to chase me, they are going to be focused on you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because otherwise,
That's-
they might try to destroy the
They might see a
rat.
golden ticket hanging out of the rat's mouth.
Yes. And that's why I thought you were doing it as like extra distractions, so that way they're like, wait, what is happening? Like, are you okay? And there's rats? It's just so much so that by the time that they even decide to do a single thing, we're gone.
Yeah, and that is actually what happens because you all rolled really well. So Jeffrey leaps and shrieks, and like a cartoon, leaps up into Hugo's arms, and Hugo catches him. And Jeffrey goes, oh no, a rat in my worst fear. Oh no, ah! And Hugo kind of stumbles. They stumble back against the door and kind of crash into it. And Hugo says, oh my, the Grandois is not as highly, the lube here is great, but apparently not the, not the vermin catching. Well, I need to give the front desk a piece of my mind.
And then I say, Grandois, more like Grand Blah. Am I right?
Got him. More like Garbois, because it's garbage.
Ooh.
Sorry, I'm so swept up in the joke.
You have not lost your charm.
You as well. Well, we're gonna march down to the desk and complain immediately. I'm so sorry, Oscar. I must be going.
I need
Oh.
next round of Val voices. I need one that goes, nice.
Or got him.
Got him.
Yeah. And they, much like the rat, they scurry away to, as rich folk, they have to instantly go complain about the lack of fanciness in their lodgings. So off they scurry. It all works. You're able to get back to your room. Stephanie, what are you doing?
I removed the whip from the balcony, which I had not done.
Evidence.
Your girl turned into a rat, scurried around, and then as soon as I was around the corner, I turned back into a person.
Okay. So yeah, the three of you go back into your hotel room and you run out onto the balcony to remove the vine whip, and you see Ellie sitting on the ground with her back to the balcony wall, and she's playing with the Gamatashi. She sees you and she pops up, back to attention. Did we do it? Do we got it?
And then I pull out both the golden ticket and the present, and I just say, I think I'm like really good at this. This is my first time, and I cannot believe how well I did. Look it,
Got him. Ellie says.
got him.
Are we all we're all in the room now?
Yeah, y'all came back in together.
Oh yeah. As we're all kind of standing there, I'm kind of talking out loud to myself. I'm like, okay, so we did that. Wait, hold on. I cast my mage hand and I send it up the balcony to shut the partially open balcony door.
Ooh.
Someone
don't-
remembered.
I don't want that to come back later where we're at the party. I was like, it was them or whatever.
Yeah.
So
Smart.
I shut the door. Is there a way to lock it?
I mean, you could put your hand inside the room. It's a fucking magic hand.
Lock
Oh,
it
so it
and
goes-
then dismiss it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We're gonna shut the door.
Oh, that's so smart.
Lock the door, and then I'm gonna dismiss
And
the
then
hand.
poof.
So now and then
Yeah.
poof.
Should we
Yeah.
open
Yeah.
this? Should we like see
Oh,
what's
yeah.
inside?
Do you want to open it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it is indeed a ring box. It is a
Is it a diamond
a
ring?
Ring
Because then we don't
box.
even have to go.
black
Oh, yeah.
velvet ring box. It's very nice to touch.
Okay, we open it. Danny, when I said we open the box, we like open.
You open it all the way. Oh, we said you open the present. like
Describe
you
the
op- unwrapped.
whole thing for me.
Okay, so
What color
it
is the
is-
velvet lining inside the box?
I said black.
Oh.
No, you
Or
said the
I mean
outside.
amber. Are you doing 311?
It's amber. Yeah, it was amber.
Yeah. Okay.
Whoa.
It's a ring.
Is it an amber ring? No.
It is a amber ring.
Fuck
Yes,
you.
it is.
God, why did I say anything?
It is an amber
This is
ring.
your fault. Is it an energy imbued ring?
Oh my god.
Okay, we're
Does
gonna.
it have? Okay.
So this is gonna be a ring of spell storing,
Ooh.
which means you can cast a spell on this ring, and this ring will hold that spell for you to use at a later date without burning a spell slot.
Cute.
Hell yeah.
So great heist, everybody. The first heist has been done, and now on to the big heist.
This podcast has been brought to you by the Nostalgia Network.
Visit thenostalgianetwork.com for more.
Don't you hate when you're watching one of your favorite movies and think, whoa, that didn't age well?
Or when you see a reboot of your childhood fave and think, did we really need this?
Honestly,
Same.
That's why we started the Nostalgia Podcast.
A podcast where we discuss the retelling or continuation of pop culture favorites as seen through a queer and feminist lens.
That's Jessica Tercero.
And that's Eric Lefebvre.
Come join us for our bi-weekly conversations about pop culture reboots centered around things like
The patriarchy,
systemic racism,
harmful stereotypes and overgeneralizations.
and really just distinguishing when people just need to sit this one out.
Listen in on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, or anywhere you get your podcasts.
You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, or YouTube.
That's Nostalgia, spelled Nostalgia. Get it?
Not nostalgia. Like nostalgia, but with an extra T, so it's like not nostalgia.
Follow us for fun, critical conversations about media. And remember, stay cute.
And stay critical.
Bye-bye.
Bye.